The latest is that the U.S. Navy is tracking a Russian ship that is leaving the Black Sea and sailing into the Mediterranean. Now, the Eastern Mediterranean, of course, where the USS Porter and the USS Ross, those two Navy destroyers, launched the some 60 cruise missiles into Syria. With a Russian ship, we believe, or the Navy believes, it's a Grigorovich class that would be armed with its own missiles as well. So that's something they're monitoring here. The Porter and the Ross, those two ships, still in the Mediterranean. There are a lot of assets in there. I was just a couple weeks ago on the USS George W. Bush, an aircraft carrier in the Mediterranean. The entire time, a Russian destroyer was shadowing. Excuse me here. Hopefully that's not an important source or someone giving me new information. What we have here is an update on the number of aircraft that have actually been downed on the field, in that airfield in Syria. Looks like it's around 20 to 26. I think we're safe to say a couple dozen. And what they're doing right now is this battle damage assessment, trying to figure out just how successful they are. But I think what everyone's watching here at the Pentagon is, A, what's the Russians' response? We're seeing a little bit of that in the Navy. And then, B, how does this affect other decision makings? How does this affect decision making on a potential action against North Korea? What everyone here is talking about is the speed, the velocity with which this decision was presented to Donald Trump, President Trump, and then approved. It happened all in the same day, just 72 hours. Those strikes came after the initial attack of chemical weapons. Carl?
Hans, it's Sarah. Before we let you take that call, quickly, what can you tell us about the staffing at the Pentagon? We keep hearing that the Trump administration does not have their full team. They don't have a deputy secretary of state, for instance, to make all of these very complicated in-the-moment decisions.
So Bob Work is the current, and he's a holdover deputy secretary of state. Beneath him, there are very few assistant secretaries, deputy assistant secretaries. That part of the Pentagon on the political side isn't staffed up there, and there is clearly some friction between Secretary Mattis and the White House on this. I will say, though, that the functions of the Pentagon, the infrastructure here continues to grind, and you have so many professional military types here. The decisions, for example, this CENTCOM plan to launch a bunch of cruise missiles from destroyers in the Navy in the Eastern Med happened very quickly because you do have CENTCOM up and running, the same Joint Chiefs of Staff. Everyone here has a lot of military experience. But on the policy side and on the political side, you're right. Now, we're starting to see a few more new faces here, but that has been a concern to some extent. But because you have the professionalism of the military, you don't hear the complaints here as loudly as you might at the State Department, where they're really looking for policy guidance. Guys?
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.